Another thing we do, the second thing we're going to talk about, emergency relief, tsunamis, earthquakes, floods, and of course, famine. I don't know if you know this, but Christian NGOs are the most likely to respond to a natural disaster the fastest. And here's a little video I have just to show you. I like videos. Have you noticed?
This is a miracle that happened today. When I received the call from you guys, was like, this is a game changer for us. We haven't been able to reach so many communities because it's like the roads or the weather conditions or many hours and days of driving or hiking, and this is changing everything. Thanks to you guys, we're going to be able to reach communities that haven't been reached yet with medicine, clean water, clothes, food supplies. So this is amazing. Thank you so much.
My family is safe, but we work in a group. The family are group from, so it's like one family. That's why I'm very sad and worried. Yeah.
I came out of Nepal just a couple weeks ago. MAF, Mission Aviation Fellowship, partnered with Samaritan's Purse and with a local entity. There's issues with Christians coming in with a local entity, and that's the helicopter they have doing that. I have reports that the Nepalese government is trying to get away from missionary service because they're afraid that the people will convert to Christianity because of how we're helping them. Missionary airplanes are specifically equipped to handle natural disasters, and our pilots are trained to specifically handle that. They can head out at a moment's notice and pick up thousands of pounds of cargo in no time. We don't have the red tape that governments do. This is in Haiti. You saw what happened. You heard what happened. And so just kind of show you just some videos of that. This is a DC-3. It can carry 12,500 pounds of rice at a time. That feeds a lot of people, and Samaritan's Purse is the one that operates this particular one. This is MAF with MREs. So you can see how effective the airplane can be in saving time, especially when everything's destroyed. Remember that? An average of 1 minute of flight for every hour of walking. Okay? What are the geographical barriers? Well, they're listed there. They're quite extreme. Most of the world doesn't have a road system. In fact, most of the world is not developing. When the colonies pulled out, all the money left. They are not fixing their roads, they're not fixing their water, they're not fixing their railroads. So everything is digressing to the state that it was in, and it's get a bit chaos. And so aviation has to come in and take over those responsibilities. It is expensive. And I'm going to say this, the easy places on earth have already been reached with the Word of God. That's not to say that every person has accepted Christ as Lord, but it is to say that the gospel has presented to all the easy places, primarily the coasts. And then up the riverways they went with the gospel, and then they made roads. And now the hardest places on earth are waiting to hear the gospel of Jesus Christ. I know there's some missionaries in Brazil and stuff that can attest to this, how hard it is to get to some of these places. Okay? So if you have to reach these places, can you imagine hiking through there with, a machete? All right. Poor infrastructure. That's the school on the right, village on the left, and that's how you send your kids to school. That's a low river. You can see where the rocks are exposed. This is a road. I have been on these roads. My dad's watching on live stream. You only got a four-wheel drive vehicle when I left the house. Yeah, you're laughing at home. I see you. How would you feel if you were a pastor showing up at a church with mud all over you? This is how most missionaries are having to get around on foot. This road right here is the busiest road in Sudan. It's in rainy season. I've been asked, why in the world don't you just go around? That's landmines from the war. Little fellow tried to do that in the right corner. Okay. This is an airstrip being built. The laterite's there. Nobody got the word to spread it. Okay. So I know that Jesse and a few experienced motorcycles in Tanzania, but the motorcycle doesn't do much on the rivers. This was a vehicle that was nearly lost, and it was at the low river setting because you can see the rocks exposed, and they still almost lost their vehicle. This missionary family is in the Philippines. They live out in a village that's 3 days travel by foot. They have to hike in and hike out with their kids, and they have to cross that river 50 times to reach civilization. Notice there's no heavy packs on the kids. Food, water, rice. This is one way you can travel in the capital. It looks really safe. Helmets. Okay, so why do we need aviation? Why do we need transportation assets? It's speed, safety, we avoid political wars, go down the list, mercy medical evacuation, and total personnel evacuation. When I was in school in Africa, I went to Dakar Academy, our sister school in Ivory Coast, IBC, ended up in the middle of the Civil War, and so MAF had to come in and evacuate about 400, 600 people out of that school. They landed in the soccer field. Okay, so this is kind of stuff. I know I've seen somebody like that in the bottom right corner at AFLC. Okay. So air transportation gives us the ability to travel quickly and safely and with a lot of stuff. This is Gary Elliott. He's in the back flying out household supplies, including the kitchen sink. Okay. Can you see the airstrip here? There it is. Call that a one-way strip. Can you see the airstrip there? These are the kinds of places we're going into. We don't really see that in the first world country where we have roads and all this. Aviation doesn't, the small aviation doesn't bring it. Yeah, by the way, we talk about the elephant in the room, but poor guy.